Dwayne Johnson used to make $40 per wrestling match.
You know, I lived life like gypsies, and I would wrestle. I had a guarantee of $40 per match every night.
And now his net worth is $320 million. People say you have to be satisfied with what you got and you have to forget all those hard moments in your life. But this man didn't believe it. He always stayed hungry and was never satisfied. That's what made him successful. In 1972, a man was born in a wrestling family. His name was Dwayne Johnson. When he was 14 years old, his family were forced out from the house for not paying the rent of $180.
Evicted when I was 14. We were kicked off the island. We couldn't live in Hawaii. Had no place to live. My mom and I came home, and I'll never forget, the rent was $180 a week. And there was an eviction a week. And there was an eviction notice on the door. And this was the one, it was the final eviction notice. My mom started crying, and I never forgot in that moment. It was a seminal moment for me because I felt like I never want to be in this position again.
So he decided to work hard and build his body.
At 14 years old, I thought, well, the heroes in my life, Muhammad Ali, for example, professional wrestlers, they're all men who have worked hard with their hands and they built their body. Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do what my dad taught me and these other heroes. I'm gonna go build my body so we're never evicted again.
While he was in high school, his love for football increased because of his coach.
Fresh into this high school in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Freedom High School. A teacher comes in, his name is Jody Swick. Tough guy. He shook my hand. I'll never forget that shake. He said, I want you to do something for me. Yes? Why don't you come out and play football for me? I said, okay. And I went out and I played football for Jody Swick, and he was our head football coach.
A father figure and a mentor to him.
And he became a father figure to me and a mentor. I fell in love with the game of football.
Eventually, he became good at football. He was hired by different colleges across the country.
I started getting recruited from every college across the country. My thought process started to change. That's when I started thinking about goals and what I wanted to accomplish.
My goal was to play in the NFL. Again, because we didn't have a lot of money, so I wanted to be the first one to buy my parents a house, and the dream didn't come true.
But life wasn't easy for him. He got injured. He was forced to move back to his home.
I'm 23 years old. I am forced to move back in with my parents.
He saw his teammates become NFL stars and making millions.
You have all these dreams, and none of it came true. All my friends around me, those teammates, they were NFL stars, and they became millionaires.
And buying homes for their parents.
Buying their parents a home.
He was depressed. He had to take the hard decision and quit football, which he loved the most.
And I wish I had someone at that time who could just pull me aside and, hey, it's gonna be okay.
So he decided to stop playing football and get into business.
A month and a half of staying in that little apartment and cleaning, I got a phone call from the head coach of the team who cut me, the head coach of the Calgary Stampeders. He called me and he said, hey, I know we cut you, but I'd like you to come back. I said, okay, I appreciate that, coach. Thank you very much. I'll think about it. He said, okay, great. I hung up the phone, and my dad said, you're gonna do it, right? I said, no, I don't think so. And he goes, what? I said, my gut tells me I'm done. He said, what are you gonna do? I took a deep breath. I said, I'd like to get into the business. He said, what business?
The wrestling business.
I said, the wrestling business. He said, you are throwing it all away. It is the worst mistake you will ever make. He said, you're ruining your career.
It wasn't an overnight success as well. It was just the opposite. Dwayne used to make $40 per wrestling match. When he started wrestling, he called himself Rocky Mavia. from his father Rocky Johnson and his grandfather Peter Maivia. But somewhere he felt he wasn't being real and not being himself.
Every night before I went out because I was not able to be myself.
People mocked him, saying Rocky sucks.
20,000 fans chanting Rocky sucks.
But that didn't stop him because he was hungry.
I remember laying there in the ring, and it was crippling for me.
And I came to the realization that it wasn't me, personally, that they didn't like. It was that I wasn't being me. I wasn't being real. I wasn't being authentic. I came back, we were on live TV, I grabbed the microphone, I started chanting Rocky sucks. And I said, I may be a lot of things, but sucks isn't one of them.
He grabbed people's attention by calling himself The Rock.
In that moment, The Rock was born.
The same people who made fun of him started to chant The Rock.
The Rock had grabbed the public's attention.
Finally, The Rock has come!
He won a lot of championships, but again, he was never satisfied. Not because he didn't love wrestling.
Like number one in the wrestling business, and I left. It was a ballsy, gutsy, some call it stupid move, but I had to commit and I had to follow what was in my gut.
Because he never wanted to limit himself as a wrestler. Because he was hungry for more. A passion for acting was growing. Hollywood was calling him. So he retired from wrestling and started a career in acting.
I feel like for me, it feels seamless because you prepared for so long, but it's just like you guys prepping for a game. That's the fun part. That's where it's like, fuck, it's fun, man. People are paying their hard-earned dollars to come see you. They're cheering, they're going bananas, they're booing the shit out of you on the road. That's fun. That's what you live for. I mean, that's the juice.
The Scorpion King was his first movie, which made him $5.5 million. It was a world record for an actor in his first starring role. And he worked in movies like The Mummy Returns, The Rundown, Be Cool, The Game Plan, Faster, G.I. Joe, Jumanji, and many more blockbuster movies. His haters said you make shit movies.
And you're always gonna have haters, and haters are like, well, damn man, how many movies are you gonna make, or how much shit are you gonna do? Like, you do a lot of shit. I say, yes, it's my ambition. Of course, why not? I could do it. Yeah, I love what I do. And not only that, but in what world do we not work every day? Doesn't mean it's just like you guys in the off season. You gotta work every fucking day.
But he didn't forget those hard moments.
Remember that. What helps me is to keep the hard times in front of my mind.
Those hard moments allowed him to go into big moments with a different perspective.
This allows me to go into these big moments that I've worked my ass off, and you guys have worked your ass off. It allows me to go into these big moments with a different perspective.
He became the highest paid actor in 2016, and he was named among Time Magazine's 100 most influential people for 2019. He could accomplish all.
That has worked for me is to remember the hard times. And I just remind myself, I was evicted when I was 14. We were kicked off the island. We couldn't live in Hawaii. Had no place to live. I would remember that. And it allows me then to be present in the moment and understand, holy shit, this the stuff I have around me right now. This is the shit that I dreamed of when I was a kid. I am here. I try and find a way to be grateful for every single thing I have, every single day. Wins, losses, loved ones, you name it. My life wasn't always this way. It was much different many moons ago. So these days I'm grateful to the bone for everything.
Because he had hunger. He was always hungry for bigger and better.
The other thing is hunger. You always hear people say, well, it's about being number one, about being at the top. Or how about this? You're always going to find somebody out there who's going to work harder. Well, I don't know that. That might be bullshit, but I know no one is going to be hungrier than I am. There's one thing to be hungry. It's another thing when you're starving for greatness and starving for success. And I love that because it immediately clicked. It's in my DNA. I know what it's like to operate every single day, regardless of the success that I've been a lucky son of a bitch to achieve. I operate every day as if I'm starving. If you're going through some hard times, you got to hold on to that fundamental quality of faith and hard work. Because on the other side of those hard times is something better, is a better life.
I'm not saying you will be a $320 man or a woman. Maybe you are destined to become a $320 billion man or a woman. But to get there, you have to, as The Rock says, be humble, be hungry, and always be the hardest worker in the room. And I will see you in the next video.